In the early 1980s, Bank of America, once the pride of American finance, was facing an unprecedented crisis. A combination of global financial disasters like the Third World Debt Crisis and the collapse of Penn Square Bank, compounded by soaring interest rates, had pushed the bank to the brink. Internally, the management struggled to keep things afloat as Bank of America's once mighty reputation crumbled. The company's stock price plummeted, its financial stability was shaken, and uncertainty loomed large. In a financial landscape where survival meant adapting quickly, this situation made Bank of America a prime target for a hostile takeover. Sandy Weill, a Wall Street power player known for his cutthroat tactics and relentless ambition. Weill, raised in a working-class Brooklyn family, had already made a name for himself in the finance world. After earning his fortune by selling his brokerage firm to American Express for nearly $1 billion, he became known for building large corporations by acquiring smaller firms and streamlining them into highly profitable businesses. But after a failed power struggle at American Express, Weill was looking for a comeback, and Bank of America was his ticket. By 1985, Weill saw Bank of America's financial woes as the perfect opportunity. With backing from Shearson Lehman, he put together a plan for a hostile takeover. He believed that with his leadership, Bank of America could become a financial superpower. The market agreed. As news of the takeover attempt leaked, Bank of America's stock price surged, with investors confident that Weill and his lieutenant, a young and ambitious Jamie Dimon, could turn the struggling bank around. Inside Bank of America, though, the atmosphere was tense. Sam Armacost, the bank's CEO at the time, was fighting for his career. He knew that if Weill's takeover succeeded, it would be the end of his time at the helm. But Weill wasn't Armacost's only problem. The bank's performance had been in decline for years, and the board of directors had lost faith in Armacost's ability to steer the ship. In a dramatic twist, the board forced Armacost out, replacing him with a familiar face, A.W. Clausen, the former president of the bank. Clausen knew that Bank of America's survival hinged on one thing: fending off any hostile takeover attempts. One of his first major moves as CEO was to employ a bold strategy known as the poison pill. By issuing new shares to existing shareholders, Clausen effectively diluted the stock and made any takeover, especially by Sandy Weill, far more expensive and less attractive. But that wasn't enough. To further safeguard the bank's independence, Clausen made the difficult decision to sell off some of Bank of America's prized assets, including the brokerage firm Charles Schwab, signaling just how serious the bank's situation had become. It was a tough but necessary move, and Clausen's gamble paid off. As the mid-1980s gave way to the era of Reaganomics, a time of economic deregulation, tax cuts, and booming markets, Bank of America capitalized on the recovery. By 1988, the bank had turned the tide. Not only had it repelled the takeover attempt, but it had also emerged stronger than ever. Profits soared to $726 million, and the stock price shot up from a low of $6 to over $19, making it one of the best performing bank stocks of the year. Meanwhile, Sandy Weill, who had failed in his attempt to capture Bank of America, set his sights on an even larger prize, eventually creating the financial giant known as Citigroup. But Bank of America under Clausen's leadership wasn't done yet. It continued to grow, learning valuable lessons from this period of corporate warfare. As the 1990s dawned, Bank of America was ready to adapt to a rapidly changing financial landscape, seizing new opportunities and taking its place among the biggest banks in the world. The untold story of Bank of America is one of resilience, ambition, and reinvention. From near collapse in the 1980s to its triumphant comeback, the bank weathered crisis after crisis. It remains a towering force in global finance today, but the lessons learned in those pivotal years during the game of loans shaped its future. As Bank of America continues to expand and evolve, the ghost of that era still lingers, a reminder that in the world of finance, survival isn't guaranteed. You have to fight for it.